Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Aussie Minifan show. I'm not the host, I'm just one of the Aussies on the show. I'm Menas, and I'm joined by the host of the unrelated show, Jackson from Australia. Welcome.
How are we going?
Good, thank you. It's good if you talk, but anyway, the wave won't come through on the audio. But anyway, and then we're with, of course, Jamie, the original co-host of the Aussie Minifan show and host of the Circle and Rectangle show. Jamie,
The long dead Circle and Rectangle show, but yeah, this is all I've got going for me these days.
beauty, beauty, beauty. Back after a huge day of KMS, we had a ripping show with Mutt and John and Warren, who host of Drips in the Office, and then we had obviously the political debate that really gripped a nation, and I took particular fascination because I've just signed on to produce a 3-episode series on why the election was who won the election. So I need to get into this US content.
Okay.
Where should we
Can I just first point?
Yeah.
Just to go to back to the show. What's your thoughts on John and Warren essentially carrying the show? He had every topic. Every time there was a lull, John just had something ready to go. I don't know if he was. I didn't quite watch it. I was listening while I was at work. But he was just rifling off. You know, you know what it's like. The last few shows, it's been like an hour in. It's been like I'm kind of out of topics. But John just brought it today.
Always does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's going to start with. I don't really. Jamie's lights are off again. For those that remember the history of the show, we'll know that by the end of the show, he's going to be in complete darkness. Fucking idiot.
I wish we recorded it earlier so that you had to put your sunnies on.
I thought about just doing it even though it was dark. I was going to do it even though it was dark, but I left him in the car. I just didn't want to go back out. It's raining here, so.
Yeah. Since Jackson, to answer your question, I think the problem is, and we'll get into me hating Kanan and all that, but Kanan always has very little to talk about, and I do think, and this is find something that argues against this. I think Justin's reverted back to being sort of the junior intern producer under Kanan, not in reality because he's getting paid more, but just the way he acts.
I mean,
is that confirmed he's being paid more?
Yes, yeah, on the show.
I thought they were being paid the same, but it definitely seems it.
Yeah, Justin's being paid more, and I think the expectation is Kanan can do some things outside of KMS.
So he'll make money if they ever be able to sell the case, which doesn't look promising. Although he's a big fan of Kirk, apparently. So
no, but I think he can do his stuff with Nurse Kim, and he can do his TikTok, and he's not being paid a full-time wage. Like I think he was on 1,800 grand before. He's probably on 40, 50 now, and it's like, come in, do the shows, do bits and pieces, and that's about it. Because if he doesn't care about the show anymore.
No, he's reverted so quickly to not giving a fuck, way quicker than he did last time. Like it took him a good year and a half before he stopped caring. He cared for about 2 weeks, and now he just doesn't anymore. I'm definitely starting to come around to your side, Menace, on the Dave hates the show. Or not hates, just doesn't care. Like he's not good for the show.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, the debate ended with a moment of unity where Greg Poller and Montante agreed. Their final thing was, look, despite our differences, we can agree that Kanan sucks. So
is that a bit of Menace, talking to Polar on the Minifandom show?
No. Jackson's internet's gone, I think, by the way.
Yeah. So that good old Victorian internet, way worse than this Sydney stuff.
This show should be called like Aussies Battle Their Own Internet or something.
It's a great screenshot, that.
No, I never did anything to Polar. Didn't you see his tweet from the weekend or earlier in the week where...
I don't think I follow Polar. I think I did, but he went crazy with the liberal stuff, and I'm like, nah, I'm out.
But basically, Kanan went on saying all this stuff about Polar, all these demands he made. He was ashamed of the show, blah, blah, blah. It was complete hogwash. And then Polar was incensed by this, released the DM exchange between him and Kanan that literally couldn't be further from what Cullinane described. Like Polar was offering to get up in the middle of the night in Sweden and do this fucking debate. And, like literally, make a big effort to make this happen. And Cullinane was pretending like Polar thought he was too good for it or something. It was just horseshit. Jackson, can you hear us at all? No. Jackson, can you hear
it's
us?
usually your internet that's fucked. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, we can.
Now we can.
You just haven't said anything for a while. I thought you couldn't hear us.
Yeah, because I cut out for like 2 minutes. I'm glad that it just seemed like I'm a zero. Did we address the part that Jamie hasn't listened yet? Did we talk about that?
Okay, but in my defense, I was working all day. I can't watch a debate while I'm driving a train. People would look at me weird. So I will watch it tonight after the show, unfortunately for us. But now that I know Montante also wasn't live, so
Well, we'll get into it, but I just want to. We'll get there. Go on, Jackson. Sorry, I just have to give you 30 seconds for the delay. Go on. The combination of your slow fucking brain and this delay.
It's fucked.
There'll be minutes of silence.
If you go back,
go and come back. Go and come back. Go and come back. Go and come back.
It's a great start to the show, and we're time limited too.
Okay, go disconnect and come back or something.
All right, hang on.
Anyway, Jesus.
Anyway,
listeners, I hope you're enjoying the Aussie Minifan show. Welcome back. Let's get back on Dave. Where was I? Polar was completely misrepresented. So he put out that tweet. And, Dave just doesn't care. He only cares about himself. Most of the topics are Dave related. If they're not Dave related, they're Dave, what he's interested in.
Yeah.
And, it's very, very frustrating. So on the show today, you might have heard that they were saying, Menace hates Dave.
Yes, heard that many times.
And look, I would like the listeners, because I get that on a show they have to exaggerate things. So that's fine. But I just want to make it very clear to the several thousand Aussie Minifan fans that I do not hate Dave as the person. Like I strongly, I sort of hated Steve because I think he deep down is a CUNT. Dave is a phenomenally nice guy, but he's just empty-headed, doesn't care about the show. And I like Dave as a person. I just do not like Dave producing the show. I have a sort of no personal animosity towards him. And I don't even want him fired. I think he should just do case stuff. But what frustrates me more is, I think Kirk bringing him back is just incredibly frustrating. But anyway, that's all I want to say. I do not hate Dave. Obviously I put out that thing saying he represents Kirk badly. I mean, did you see that Polar tweet, Jackson? That couldn't be further from what Dave said on the show.
Today, Polar's tweet today.
No, the one from where he put out the exchange between him and Cullinane, and it was the completely opposite of what Cullinane said.
No, I missed it.
I think he's deleted it. I think he deleted it.
What are you talking about? It's still there. It was
I'm going back to
2-3 days ago.
I'm on October 11 now, and I haven't seen it unless it's a reply.
It is a reply to me actually.
Okay, well that's
a reply to
me. Yeah.
So hang on. So I cut out for 3 minutes, and you're talking about how you don't like Cullinane as a producer. How the fuck did we get there?
Didn't we start there?
Yeah, we started there. You probably didn't hear when Jamie brought it up, but that's fine.
No, I didn't.
Do you want me to? Why don't you go back and listen to the beginning of the show and then come back?
No, thank you.
Anyway, the main thing is there was a tweet where Polar sent out. Sorry, listeners, this is brutal. We've fallen far after our first effort. But basically, he put out the tweet between him and Cullinane that couldn't have been further from what Cullinane described. And my point is, if Minifan, Jackson's girlfriend's back, if Minifans are, if Minifans are, offering to help the show do stuff for free, Cullinane is very disrespectful to that. All right, I'm going to carry the show. All right.
Sorry,
I don't really have a. No, I just don't have a. I wasn't ready for this show to be Cullinane slander. Kirk was right about you.
Not.
Especially since I'm a Cullinane guy normally, but I just, I
okay, Jackson, you know what you missed then, fuckhead. Do you remember on the show today? So the KMS show. Do you remember that?
Sure.
Where they said,
Yeah, for
where they
sure.
He
said,
doesn't listen. He
Menas
doesn't
hates
listen.
Cullinane. Menas hates
Yes.
Cullinane, and I just wanted to
Yes.
make it clear. Actually do not hate him. Like I think he's a lovely guy, empty-headed fuckwit, but a lovely guy. When I went in studio, he couldn't have been more friendly. Like I do not want to see him, die in a car crash or anything like
Yeah,
that.
but you
Like,
hate people who don't put any effort in.
well, yes, and it's just also it's like I broke up with a girl, I've got over it, and now she's moved back in with and living with me. It's just what am I doing?
I kind of like. Do you kind of think that it was kind of lazy on Kirk's part just to bring him back, not try and find someone that could actually be good for the show?
Yeah, it's the biggest career mistake he's ever made. Sorry, second biggest. First one was getting rid of Joe the axe. Second one was bring Cullinane back.
Because it just screams of, all right, I don't want to go through this producer search, which I get, but behind the scenes, like surely someone would have reached out and said, hey, I want to do the job. But he's gone back with Cullinane, who, he has lost interest faster than I ever imagined. And it's hurting the show. And you're right, Justin has taken a back step because Cullinane's there. It's like he has some mental thing where, Cullinane's the guy. He was the lead producer, solid producer.
Has he, though?
It feels like it. He's just doing bits.
Absolutely. He's
He
a
doesn't bring
shadow of
stories.
himself.
Yeah.
You
go back and listen.
Go on.
You go back and listen to him with Coleman. It's chalk and fucking cheese.
The alpha.
So
alpha Justin. J-Rock.
You don't think that was a Coleman thing?
I mean, Coleman is a cuck.
No.
Look at him with Kelly Keeks.
No. It's a Justin thing reverting back to his old role as Cullinane's sidekick.
Yeah, like he would have done the same if Steve had come back, because it's like, oh, they were my boss. I need to be, the junior producer guy. Whereas he's the lead guy. He's better for the show. His drops were getting better until Cullinane came back, and then they've just gone to shit. Even though they were a little delayed, but that made it kind of funny.
That was Coleman on the drops.
No, but when Coleman left, Justin was starting to get better at it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and then they were delayed, but it was kind of
At least
funny.
Cullinane's trying on the drops. It does also take him like a minute to find the right one.
Not like last time. He just had no interest in doing drops at all. They disappeared. And I feel like we're going to go there again. And Justin won't have the cojones to step up and take that assertiveness.
But don't you think it's kind of an issue where, and you guys know this, if you're on a job and there's a couple of people really fucking cruising, then it's much easier for you to slip into that mode too, because then, you're not going to stick out. You just go with the flow. If everyone's cruising, man, we're all cruising together, baby. Let's cruise. And that's what's happening in that producer booth. Cullinane cruises. Justin thinks, I could just take the foot off the accelerator a little bit because, Cullinane's not going to call me out. And Kirk's not going to call me out because he just hired this fuckwit Cullinane again. So clearly he doesn't really care about the show and really want to. So, it just sets a theme.
Thing that goes against Cullinane.
So you think that Cullinane has the ability, he's got the ability to bring Kirk down. Is that what you're saying? Like it's a culture setter.
There's certainly a lot of complaints about the show. I think Kirk has been carrying the show recently, and maybe like some of the shows recently have been really good, but Kirk is doing a lot more work.
We've moved away from Mutt, which has been good till today.
Anyway, let's go on. Sorry,
going back to that, like Dave coasts, Justin will do the same. Justin doesn't have the luxury of the fact that Dave, when the case starts again, does all the work behind the scene for the case. Justin doesn't. So he needs to be focused doing his best on the main show because he doesn't have the case to fall back on. Like if Dave's coasting on this, Kirk doesn't give a shit because his main role is the case. This is Justin's main role. He needs to be on every day, heaps of stories, keeping it interesting, boring bits. Yeah, whatever. I like the bits, but he doesn't have the case to fall back on. He doesn't have anything else to fall back on. He just goes to Mutt's terrible show every Thursday.
And I think Justin.
Do you think more of this? Do you think more of this?
Go on. I'm gonna go.
I was gonna say, do you think more of it falls on Justin? It's like in professional sports when like someone's getting paid a lot more than maybe the backup. The issue falls on them, and they're the one that gets benched. Like, do you think that Justin has a lot more blood in his hands?
Well, I just don't think you can expect Justin to boss Cullinane around. Like, it's very hard for Justin, who was in the reverse role where Kanan was his boss. So I think that's hard for a young guy like Justin to all of a sudden, like, for someone like me, it'd be fine. I could tell Kanan what to do in a second. Like, I wouldn't even hesitate. Whereas,
well, you and Kanan
Justin,
are the same age, so
no, I'm like 10 years older, but
yeah, we think he's that young, but we're really not sure.
But I think part of the reason Cullinan's back is because Kirk was afraid the longer it went on with just Justin, the more chance of Justin having a bit of a wobble or a breakdown and having to take time out. So I think part of it was Kirk was like, fuck, I could be like no producers if I don't find someone soon.
He would always have producers. Like John from Scranton would come in. That's about it now because Mick won't do it. Montante's not capable.
Well, Mick would do it if Justin wasn't there.
True, yeah.
Why didn't you go with John?
Breakdown? The travel thing. He says it was a travel thing, but I don't know if he actually likes John. I like John, but I don't think Kirk actually does because of the Intel stuff back in the day, buying views for the YouTube videos, which were allegedly done. Don't believe it, but John would be great for the show. He's a good personality. He's a good technical producer as well. He would smash the socials. He's good at that. He actually cares about the show and the universe, but he can sort it, balance it. Whereas Menas would be heavy on the Miniverse. John could balance it out 50-50.
I would balance it out, you fucking idiot. Don't you ever fucking accuse me. I would be fucking right in the sweet spot where everything was in play. But the thing about John is I do think Kirk is against having someone move a long way for the job. Like, we're not just me, but like if say John ups and moves, right?
Which is fair.
Yeah.
And then a couple of months into the job, it's not really working out. John does something and he's like, can't really fire this guy. Like moved, across the country for me. I'm stuck with him.
Coleman.
Yeah, that's true. It's
true. Probably not as Coleman,
no,
but
I think Connecticut and Watertown are different to Scranton and Watertown.
Wasn't it New Jersey?
Oh yeah,
and also Coleman's pretty happy not working, I think.
Oh yeah, fat and happy.
And also, Coleman doesn't have a partner or anything. But yeah, I just don't think he likes him. And I think John likes smoking cigarettes on every fucking recording. Cigarettes, no doubt Kirk could turn up and he'd just see John smoking outside every time, and eventually just say, fuck off.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be a big fan of smokers. So that might, imagine if that was the main reason he just doesn't want to say it. It's like, oh, no, moving. It's not a lot of money. I don't want him to do that. But really, if he quit smoking, he could have the job tomorrow.
I mean, we all know John would be smoking in that.
He'd smell it on him. Like,
oh, yeah.
There'd be reasons why John would have.
There's reasons why.
Studio at some point and
and that was Jackson, host of the Unrelated Show.
Live from Antarctica.
Look at that frozen face. I want to get to the listener questions before, but it would help if Jackson's here. Wow. Well,
I was actually going to go down to Melbourne for the Sydney game. I was going to try and tee up if I went there early. We could do a show and me and Jackson could be together. That might not be a great idea right now.
Yeah. Great take, Jackson. Couldn't agree more. Unbelievable. You are killing it today. You're on fire. Comments are fucking lit right now. They're just like, you are. Couldn't agree more. Anyway, I want to get to listener questions because I thought maybe mix it up. Let's try and jam them in early. So first question is from Kane is Able. The Andy Mayo video, enough said. So Jamie didn't watch the debate yet. So, but Jackson did watch the debate. He can't hear me, so I'm just talking to myself.
I can hear you.
Okay, just check. So the Andy Mayo video, I thought it was peak Mayo annoyance, but I actually think he landed the plane, a couple of good jokes, and I will say it was a.
This stinks because I'm all in on Mayo. I love Mayo. Like
Same.
he's perfectly cringe. Like I can't remember the thing. He goes, "Oh, I'm gonna be broke like a Mutnansky."
Yes, yeah. He can't. He doesn't even want to go to Disneyland. He wants to go to Santa's Village, whatever it was.
His jokes are perfectly unfunny.
Yeah, and I will say, Mayo is all time annoying at the moment. Like he's just he's I don't know, he's not medicated enough, or he's too medicated. Whatever it is, he is like peak annoying at the moment. Like,
you don't think he's reaching out to try and get on the show?
No, I don't think he actually really cares about getting on the show that much. Like, privately, I know. I think there's been a lot of occasions where he's been invited in, but he's got work and shit, so he can't do it. So, I don't think he's a clout whore like some of the other people, like John and Warren, or
right.
Yeah, well, when Mayo can't do it, we get people like Joe. So,
yes. We'll get to Joe. All right. Next question. Don the Jeweler. Obviously, Dave stinks, but do you think Justin is coasting as well? So we've sort of talked about this, but I'll give my definitive answer. Yes. Jamie, your answer.
Yes.
Jackson, your answer.
Yeah. No, I don't see the evidence. Like, he's always been a bit guy. It's always been the same thing. He hasn't changed.
But he's not
I don't get
trying.
it.
What are you doing? You're looking at something. Like, then you were like, what are you doing? He'd cock out under there.
I'm writing notes. I'm note taking.
He's resetting his router.
There's a little bit of that. I got a lot of notes going on. I just don't think he's changed. Like, even during the Coleman era, it was driving down the subway for a bit. Like, it's all bits. It's always been bits. So I don't get the argument.
He's not doing that anymore, but he's doing okay. He eats the food.
A bit. Like,
no, but he's not doing anything on the show. He's not bringing topics. Like with Coleman, Justin had a lot of topics lined up, and he's not doing that anymore. It's just we get
these topics of like shit, political talking points.
Yeah, going on Joe Rogan. Woo! Although we'll be listening to that.
I think it's more. I think it's more Cullinane issue. Like, you're right. Like, every episode is. Oh, have you seen the fucking Greg Hill ratings? And I think you're dragging Justin down into it.
Yeah, but it's because it is because Dave's there. Justin can't be the alpha that he needs to be.
When does Justin bring up?
He's not an alpha.
Yeah, but he needs to be on that show because he's not the case guy.
So when does Justin have any sound from either network? Right? When does Justin have any topic about the Miniverse? When does he have anything about Barstool? Really, Justin? Like, Coleman used to do that. Why doesn't Justin now that
Kelly
Coleman's
Keegs?
gone?
Exactly. Coleman used to do that.
Yeah.
But couldn't Justin's now the man? Like, he's got to start doing this shit.
You're asking him to be something he's not. He's not going to be that.
Okay, then fucking don't make him executive producer of your show.
Yeah.
That's a different story. That's totally. I agree with that.
All right, next question. Dave's dead dog. This is to me. Would you work under Cullinane if that was the only way to get the producer job? Not on your fucking life. All right.
You don't think he'd submit to you?
No, it's saying, but in the question, it's saying Dave is my boss. Like, I could not work under those conditions.
Boss.
Yeah, no, I couldn't. Like, if Kirk said, look, if Kirk said leadership structure, it's me, Cullinane, Menners, I would go, no deal.
What if it was the kind of thing where, like, Cullinane got paid $50,000 less than you, but he was the boss?
Still no. I could not have Cullinane like telling me what to do in any way. Like, after what he's done in the last few years, like, you've got to respect your boss. And I like Cullinane, but I don't respect him. Big difference.
Okay, but you have a content brain. You don't think that'd be like great content?
Wouldn't it be better if I was Cullinane's bossing him around? Like, imagine within 2 weeks, he would break. Like, he would be dead. He would be gone. Be ranting and raving.
I think the more you go on about this, the more likely it is that if you do come over for the job, he's gonna keep Cullinane as your boss.
Well, I do not think that will happen because Kirk has made Justin Cullinane's boss.
I think Cullinane's going to quit soon anyway. So
I mean, I guess if the way Kirk could get around it, he could say, "Is Cullinane's in charge of the case? Man, you're in charge of KMS." Like, that would be, and then would kind of be on the board of directors. So I could do that.
Two associate producers.
No, 2 executive producers.
Like Kirk. I was thinking more Kirk's the executive producer of both shows. You guys are the associates.
He doesn't qualify to be a producer in any fucking way.
No technical ability.
He's talent, and part of the problem is, talent needs a producer. And anyway, so Dave's dead dog. No, I would not work under Kanan.
Can you confirm that you're wishy-washy about your move to the United States?
So, oh man, I was frustrated with that. It is not wishy-washy to want to be able to legally work and live somewhere. That is what I mean when I say, I can't definitively say I'm going to do it, because unlike an American who has an American passport and an American right to work, they can just move to Boston and say, I'm going to be there. If I do that, I will get deported and arrested, because there are enough Minifans that hate me. If I'm working illegally on a podcast for Barstool, I think people are going to know about it. So
you've already had threats.
Yes. So the fact is, wishy-washy. What I'm wishy-washy is because I need someone to give me a contract. So that's why I'm saying, if I go first for the Amazing Race, right? Maybe then the offers roll in. Then it's like, okay, I can get because I think the way it works is in this sort of business, you need a contract to try and get a visa.
Yeah, work visa.
Yeah, so it's so logistically you can get a holiday visa right now, go over there, plead your case, I guess, essentially.
But you'd have to come back.
Contract is given. Yeah, then you'd have to leave, and then you could get a contract.
Exactly.
And then go for a working visa. Okay.
Yeah. Have you reached out to they got the cricket league out there, right? The professional cricket league they got now. Have you thought about that? I know some
people. Well, absolutely. I mean, I would still keep doing my cricket podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Job.
But you could do commentary on the cricket league over there, whatever they call it, Major League Cricket or whatever.
Really, actually, I met a guy who's basically involved with the San Francisco Unicorns. He was at Cricket New South Wales last week having a tour. And I clocked the guy. I was like, maybe I'll be hitting you up.
Sounds like an LGBTQI plus.
So that's what annoyed me about Kanan, that saying I'm wishy-washy. He's like, just go and do it. I would like to do that.
It's so much harder than that. I want to do that for college, coaching college, but you can't just go over there and take a job. They need to offer you the job. I'm not
American. And that's where Americans are really stupid. So they actually just don't see far beyond their borders. A lot of them have never, I spoke to Minifans when I was over there last time. They count traveling going to another state, and it's a few hours away in a car. It's not traveling. Traveling's fucking. You live in Australia, flying 20,000 kilometers to the other side of the world, putting on a backpack and seeing all of Europe. That's fucking traveling.
That's just going to Bali.
Oh, I knew you'd have time.
Been to Geelong.
Yeah.
Bali.
Phillip Islands. Sorry, I didn't mean to shame people that haven't traveled, Jackson. It's no
you're a bit out of touch here. You're almost like Greg Polar in today's debate. Very out of touch.
Yeah, I feel out of touch. I've been lucky enough to travel a lot. I've been very fortunate. But
I went to Brisbane.
I'm too busy. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to Brisbane next week as well. So.
Well, you live at large. All right. Next question. So Ted Sarandis, Ted, definitely going to answer some of your questions. Who do you believe is the most underutilized Minifan by the main show? His vote is Tim Ridgels. The floor is yours. Who would like to go first? Jackson, I'll go with you because I can wait. I can just fill time for the delay.
It seems like his internet's good right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to run with it. The obvious one is, you probably agree, the obvious one is Montante. He's not in enough. He needs to be in more, especially after today. I think the next time he's in, they need to try and figure out a Montante and Paula meeting. I guess next on the list I would have they need to get Coleman in. They got to get Coleman in. I don't know what you guys. I think he'd be a great third chair. Well, it might be like a Gus or Mick thing. The whole show would be about.
Is he the most underutilized Minifan, though? Anyway, go on.
Well, other than today, how else is he? I mean, I guess he's been talked about once or twice.
No, but is he a Minifan? He's ex-producer.
Of course he is.
You think he still listens?
Yes, he loves. He does love the clout. Let's be totally honest. He loves the attention it gives him.
Oh,
when he was in the show with the two girls, no one knew who the fuck he was, and now he gets the Minifans and he's fucking in his DMs and shit.
He's the best.
Guess after that, just a random name that I would go with is I love Cliff. I think we need more Cliff.
Not a bad shout.
I think we've had enough Cliff. I think Cliff didn't. I think it was a pretty shallow well there for old Cliff.
No, that was the thing with last time he was on the show. He was like one of the drips. He kind of just he puts he adds a line here and there. Like it's not too much. It's not too little. It's a perfect third chair.
James,
and then obviously Andy Mayo as well. Just quickly.
Okay, like that.
Taking my one. All right, so I've got Mayo, Tim in Canton, and Jared Carabas, but I don't know. I think that's like his thing. He can't really come into the show as much as I probably would like to have him in. But Tim in Canton, I mean, he's the historian of the show. He's in once every 3 or 4 months. Like, I want more Tim in Canton.
I would. Tim and Ken had a great debate. You wait till you see him. He was the highlight. Did he look? He looked great. I thought his bit at the end with the notes was absolutely tonally perfect. Like I thought Josh and James struggled. Like I think they should stick to community basketball. We found their level. But Tim was just perfect. I don't know. I agree with the people that you've said who are the most underutilized Minifans. I think, Tim Ridgell should be in more. There's a lot of great Minifans who used to come in more that haven't been in for a while. Mama Kay, like there should be more women involved. I think the Mina ladies as a whole are underutilized.
Yeah, but
what about if they what if they do a nighttime show and get Mama Kay drunk in?
That was great. She was so hammered on Sunday on Kane's show.
She was fantastic.
She was great.
Yeah. Kirk's he's never going to do a night one, but like, because you heard him say it the other week, he goes, then we'd have to do a night show and I get really tired at night. So I know the feeling too, but
Jackson, Mama Kay is wild in bed, don't you? Like it's got it written all over. Like
I don't want to comment on that.
Well, this is such a compliment. It's a compliment. I reckon she's very, knows how to please a man, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think she's got a bit of a wild side. Anyway,
I don't know. She
contractor husband throws around the bed and stuff.
That's why she likes being in this boys club, the Minifan boys club.
Yeah,
she can handle it.
Yeah. All exactly. Right. Now we have second question, and you're kind of biased here, Jackson. So I might throw this to Jamie.
Yeah, I bet I am.
Who has a brighter future as a network content producer? Tim Smith or Timothy Fax? The two Tims, Jamie.
Oh, man. Both friends of mine as well. Florida Gators, Timmy Fax, and football fan, even though he supports Arsenal, Tim from England.
You're the friend with the Brit. Yeah, right. I forget you're British.
Yeah. Fuck, I've watched a lot of unrelated show.
Just give me a fucking answer. It's not that hard. I'm not asking you to fucking solve world peace.
Because he's with Jackson, I'm going to go Tim the Brit. Just because he's on a show with Jackson. He does carry that show a lot. Looking at Jackson's internet tonight, it's a lot of that. Not really. Somehow it's magic. It's magic for the unrelated show, but yeah, I'll go with Tim the Brit. I love Fax. We're Florida Gators alumni. I'm not really an alumni, but I like him anyway. But yeah, it's Tim the Brit, even though fuck Arsenal.
Yeah.
Choke.
I mean, this is hands down, and I hate to say it, but Tim Smith has actually a personality. He's a little entertaining. I mean, Fax is, I think he's made of wood. Like, I think he's just 100% wooden. It's just, I think there's some chip in there, and because he's, honestly, sometimes I watch Mike and the Minifans, and by the end, I'm just brain dead. And I actually think he sort of puts the other panelists in a trance where the way he talks just sort of numbs them. Like, I think when he goes to these funerals, he does something to the people where they sort of numbed into, I don't know, just very, very lovely man. Like, I think, and I appreciate him doing Mike and the Minifans, but Tim Smith, if he showed his face and did a bit more, I think has way more potential.
My conversations with Fax, there's plenty of life and like vibrancy in it, because we're talking Florida Gators. We're killing teams right now, and he is pumped up.
Nobody gives a fuck. Who cares?
Hey, we're going to beat Georgia, all right? We're going to beat Georgia.
I wish your internet had fucking shit the bed now.
No, I'm in Sydney.
Anyway, reading an email from a fan. All right, next question.
You're going to fucking ask me or what?
Oh, yeah, sorry. You're biased. Though. But go on.
Yeah, you're obviously going to
say I am biased, because obviously... Yeah,
go on.
Okay,
got it.
I thought that was misdirection. Of course it's Fax. I mean, he doesn't have that stupid fucking accent. He's a great host. He's very articulate. He's very good looking. Like let's be totally honest. He's a
What?
family man.
He's got
a good
fucking pedo vibes written all over him. Like
Oh,
honestly,
there's no way.
if you were walking, not even that. If like I can see him like coming out to Sydney and living his best life in about 10 years with some fellas on Oxford Street.
Barring the fact that he's like 5'4", like he would get every Australian woman with that accent. He's so well spoken.
You want to fuck him? I think that's my takeaway. You want to fuck him? Why don't you just go and fuck him? That's what you want to do.
He has offered if I go over there, he's offered me a spare room. So
I wonder if that's Mena's issue. It's like Fax is 5'4" and Mena's is 5 flat. Being generous,
right.
he's just slightly taller.
I'm 5'3.5". No, actually,
but there's the 5'4".
No, fuckhead. Seriously, since I found that out, I'm liked Fax more. I'm like, oh, he's one of
he's one of me.
Like, I get this. Like I get this. He's a short man too. He gets it. All right. So Ted Sarandis, why do you think the producers are so reluctant to use network content on the main show? Jackson, as Jamie went first last time, I'll give you the honor. Did you hear the question?
Yes, I heard it.
Just checking because you froze it again.
Did I?
Go on.
Just holding the pose. I don't think they give a fuck. I think you'll see Justin in the chat every once in a while, but damn, maybe he has checked out. I don't know. They've never really cared.
You'll never see Kanan in the chat.
Yeah, Jackson, do you think that's a bad thing?
Yes, to an extent. I mean, a lot of it is shit. Like a lot of it's fucking rambling about nothing. But there's some gold.
Isn't KMS about the like inside stuff, like the bickering? And when people argue, I said I wanted the main show to talk about the network 40% of the time, and maybe I'm a few percent off there because you look at the show now, like there are talking points on, like there were talking points about Mick, like I don't know, like KMS is more about the Minifans and that stuff than it is about Greg Hill's rating. Like that's my perception of the show.
That is true, and there's a thing where you can be deluded, where you think you're doing a great job or whatever, and if you just happen to check in on like 3 different shows, you would know everybody's opinion for the most part. Like we're not random with our opinions. Like it's pretty consensus. So Kirk seems to know. Like Kirk's well aware.
Kirk watches.
He's watching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Jamie, what do you think? Why the producers? So Jackson's saying, okay, maybe they're checked out. Well, we know Kanan's checked out, but you're saying Justin's checked out. I guess, Jamie, so we've ascertained they don't use network content. Why do you think that is? Like, yeah.
I don't know. Like Kirk, this is the world he wanted, right? He always talked about it, that he wanted a show where he had his whole world and that world formed the show, like Howard Stern when he used to be good. This is what he's got. And I think we're better than the whack pack of, well, we're not a whack pack, but our community is better than what the Stern one was at the peak because we're Minifans and we're awesome. I just think because if Justin brings it up, Kirk will know a little bit because we know he watches, but Dave's going to have no idea what's going on and it's going to kill it. Unless the guests in there are on the network, which, Mutt watches a little bit.
Of audio. You find a good bit of audio and you play it.
But then Dave's just going to show no interest, and Kirk's going to get annoyed by that, and it's going to, go on to a different
I disagree.
thing.
That's bullshit.
Because Dave doesn't care. Dave doesn't give a shit about
Dave doesn't matter. Like Kirk, last week, Dave, there was times where he didn't say shit because he didn't have anything to say. Kirk and Martin, all that were talking.
That's a good shows.
I just think it's laziness. I
do agree that is a Justin role.
Yeah, it has to be his because he was one of us. He was on the network before he was an official producer and paid role of the show. So, but it's what Kirk wanted. So I don't understand why he doesn't come to us. Because, man, you're right. The KMS show is more about the Miniverse. It's what he built. Everything we do is for him.
And I think there's a lot of good talking points come out for it. Like just people think this and it gives you stuff to bounce around. Like even they talked about the Minifan top 50 today. Like there is inside stuff. The why I think question. I mean, I think it's Kirk's fault. He killed the network when he, stole it from me. And I don't think, I think, it's Kirk's fault, but I think Justin and Carl should be doing, Anyway, Ted, I don't know why. Why? I don't know.
Maybe it's just in a swing,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a lot. It's heavily featured. He always says, talking about
Coleman was into it. Coleman would be like scouring the network for stuff because he got it. He actually got the show better than people give him credit for. He leaned a bit too much on the Barstool stuff, but that was about it. I think it's actually better for the show. If I'm Kirk, like, you can grow your audience more leaning on the Barstool stuff than you can on Greg Hill's ratings. Because if you're, Joe Shithead who listens to Part of My Take in, fucking the other side of America, and you put it on, like you say, oh, let's try out Kirk's show, then you're going to be like, fuck, I don't care about Greg Hill.
And he gets that link from the Unnamed show too, so you should be leaning more on the Barstool because he's on another big Barstool show that talks about a lot of Barstool issues. If you can bring some of those ones that are more around Kirk's world that he cares about, you're going to grow your Barstool audience. So I get why he does it. I just think,
And I think as well, and this is another reason I think they should do it, I think you want people doing content because in the end, and we're all agreeing this, you just fucking, there can be 8 shows a week. You only need to find 2 or 3 good bits. And let's be honest, put the shows together. There probably only are 2 or 3 good bits. So we're not saying you have to go through every show and play highlights of Tim Smith and Jackson, talking about their fucking, sex lives or something. But
dead, pedo, and whatever the other topic.
Yes,
that's all we need to play.
Are they Asian?
Gay.
Gay, that's it.
This promo. Wow.
So you don't have to do that. You only need to. So what I'm saying is you want people to do the content. So just keep them interested enough by just giving them a whisker of attention. Just not much.
Yeah,
I guarantee
feed the addict.
I can tell you from someone who has run both networks very successfully for a long, long time that people giving them a whisker of attention every now and then keeps them coming back for sure, which benefits the Minifans because there's a few thousand Minifans that love this content, and they're the ones that go to the live shows. They're the ones that buy 10 tickets pay-per-view. They're the ones that buy the merch. They're the ones that are going to put Harry and Kate through university. So
he always talks about why would we talk about the network? Because there's like hundreds of we see the downloads and not everyone's on Twitter, not everyone's watching the network. But you're right. The ones who are in the network, watch the network, consume all that stuff are the ones that go to the live shows.
And if you are talking about it, that is promotion on top of that, You are going to get more viewers by talking about it.
And I can tell you, you're making a big mistake not being on this network, Jackson, because the audio releases do really well. No, but the audio releases on this network are always, hundreds more than you see on YouTube because, it's a podcast. So guess what? There's a lot of people who like to listen to podcasts. So if you release it in that format, people will listen to it.
I got to say I'm one of those.
I listen while driving the train. So
yeah. I listen to Kane's Corner.
Yeah. And if you don't, I listen to KMS. I've actually got YouTube Premium, so it doesn't matter. But podcast apps, unless you can watch it, it's wasted. I should get rid of it. But you can. It's better to listen. Anyway, that was all the questions. Well, I've just kind of run things. I've got a few more topics, but is there anything you guys want to get to? Because we've,
Yeah, I've got a few things.
Go. Let's go.
I want to. I know you've touched on it a couple of times, but do you have an update on the top 50 list? Who's running what your role is? There's a lot of rumors swirling that
you're actually
going to have a lot more control.
No, fake news.
Heard a lot of that.
Who from? See, liars, all of them. Jamie, maybe turn a light on.
I'll go turn a light on. I'm just disappearing.
Weirdo. Anyway, so the thing with the top 50 list is it's not a Minifan top 50 list. It is definitively, and we all agreed on this, and this panel has been excellent. Ned Snark, Mama Kay, and Freddie Lynn have been very easy to deal with so far. We all agreed it's a KMS top 50 list. And Mama Kay, Ned, and Freddie are the people who write the list. And then I'm kind of the overseer. And then I step in if there's, if they can't agree on something, then I'll help them work through it.
But has that happened? Because I've heard that the list is pretty much finalized.
Yeah, so we've got the meeting actually on Friday night US time to finalize the list. So that'll be finalised then. So obviously, everyone sort of agrees on it. It's around 55, 60. And then it's just sort of, okay, who's not going to make it, who's going to make it. And then it's, confirming the order. There's been a bit of talk about where Steve Robinson should fit. I can tell you that he's not going to be number 2. Like, that's an exclusive to the Aussie Minifan show.
Nice.
Steve Robinson will not be number 2 in the KMS top 50. Like, I'm not going to say,
Is he top 10?
Yeah, I think he's 10. He's top 10. And I've said Kirk's
He's
number 1,
number 1.
obviously. But yeah, he's top 10. So, but yeah, he's not going to be number 2. And I think there's been a bit of movement since last year. So, as usual, Justin spreading lies. But, that's what they do. It's exaggerate.
Can you give us one name that was on the last list? Well, I guess it's going to be...
No, that's easy. It's Steve from
There's not...
Yeah. And I think that's actually where there could be a bit of tension. I'm sure like Ned Snark and Mama Kay will sort of stick up for the old guard.
Mm-hmm.
But, for example...
Freddie's old guard as well.
Where do you put Kane? Where do you put Kane? Like he's probably rocketed up the charts.
Where do you put Sneakers?
Exactly, probably down. Like I think he's had a shocking year, stock down. So do you fear that this 3-person panel? Do you fear that the it's going to be a show? Obviously, do you fear it's going to be humorless at all?
No, Mama K's on it and Ed's not.
No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, but also like. What's to laugh about? Like this is no laughing matter, Jackson. There's no laughing matter. Like,
do you think they should dress up? Like, should she wear a dress? Should they wear a tie?
Like a award show.
Yes. Yes.
Like I've had post-traumatic stress disorder since last year's event, so I'm going into this a broken man. Like I'm like a Vietnam vet. So this is no laughing matter. Like we're here to get a job done. This is important. This is why I should be the producer of the main show, because I think this is the most important issue in the world at the moment. All right. Any more questions? Topics? Sorry.
I have one question. Is Jackson going to feature in that top 50? He's coming on strong. I mean, obviously,
he might be the highest Australian on the list. He might.
You would not allow that menace.
So, for example, Jamie, this is where I will let the other 3 will actually know better than me, because I love Jackson. He'd be in my top 20 Minifan list if I was doing it tomorrow. But Ned Snark might never have heard of Jackson.
Won't take that slight, but that's fine. Although I know Ned Snark's heard of me, so
I mean, do a show with Tim Smith, and maybe you'll rocket up the list.
Tim Smith on the list.
Tim's always asking me to come on that show, so
so
we can talk football.
Let's not do this about who'll be on our list. We'll get.
That's a I don't want to be selfish here, but there is a little plug that I have that our show. Obviously, it was the joke was that it was unrelated to open borders. Now we've kind of hit a point where we think maybe that's outdated. So I don't know if anyone in the comments here wants to reach out with a potential name, but we're looking at potentially renaming the show. So I'm just going to put that out there.
No one in the comments even knows your show exists.
Everybody in the comments knows what I'm talking about. I hate that.
Do you have any topics you'd like to bring up, James?
I did today when I was at work, but I have no idea. I think I was just going to talk about.
No. I've got topics.
Yeah,
it's all right.
The debate. Kirk was very adamant that it was supposed to be live in studio, and if that wasn't going to happen, it wasn't going to happen. And
you're right. That's such a pussy take though, because how often are you going to get Polar in the studio?
He's in Florida.
It's unrealistic.
You're an idiot.
But he said that
you're going to watch it later.
I'm sure it's probably good, right?
It's very good. It's very good.
I think it's the best content thing that they've had in I don't know how long.
He said, if we can't get Polar in here, there's no point doing it. It'll be so much better live in studio. And it would have been.
Jamie, we get that. We'll get over that. He lives in Sweden.
I can't. Consistency. Oh, God, I'm Stephen Gloucester.
I thought it was so Jackson, we should review the debate quickly, and then I thought I gave my take. So Josh and James were okay, but I thought I thought it was really good. Like it was funny. I thought all the videos were good. Like I thought that was a really good way of actually adding to it. I thought Jeff D'Lo at the end. I just think the whole thing. the producers were pathetic. Like the camera angle for Josh and James was ridiculous. The sound was awful. Like Montante was like 10 times louder than everybody. But apart from that, I'm going to give it a 10
you didn't
out
find
of
it
10.
funny when you didn't find it funny when like everybody's on a regular level and then Montante just goes, yeah, and your child sex slaves, like history is.
Yeah. So
I
what
don't know.
did you think of it?
He had some Trump moments.
Mm.
I think I was as soon as Greg, his first thing where he went into we're all doing this so we can vote in Justin's dad, and then he really quickly realized that it wasn't a joke. The whole debate wasn't a joke at all. It was really serious, and Greg was on the back foot, and he was he was in trouble from the first question about immigration. He conceded, and Montante steamrolled. People are talking, and I think it's really obvious when you look back on it. Montante was on something. What was he on?
Oh,
Was it just
absolutely.
cocaine? Like he was. Did
I
you
don't
notice
want
how
to cast
fast he was
aspersions.
talking?
Yeah.
I've never heard
He
him talk
was-
so fast.
Or maybe it was just the thrill. Like that was a big spot, all of America, was watching.
So he's like a puppy wagging his tail. Like he just
Maybe. I mean, would it be out of the realm of possibilities that he had some performance enhancing drugs? Absolutely not. Like I
There's
could
no
see it happening.
doubt.
Even if
Could've
it's
been.
just like I didn't pop a couple of Ritalin, like take double the dose.
Some Adderall.
Could have had some drinks to calm some nerves,
What was your thought as well about the biased moderator? I mean, he was very early. He was attacking Greg.
Kirk.
Yes.
I thought he did a
You didn't think it was like
job.
a pylon? It was like the opposite of a CNN. Like CNN often does against Trump. They have the moderator and Kamala. Like they'll both go at Trump. This was the roles reversed. Like Paula was getting swamped.
Yeah. I thought Kirk was fine. I mean, I thought it wasn't his best spot. I think it was really good they had those questions from like Mike and Coleman and Mayo. Like I think that kept it going. I think if it had just been Kirk and those two, it would have dragged on a bit. But yeah, A+, great idea. Yeah. Terrific. And I guess if we're being honest, that is involved the Minifans. Like Montante's a Minifan. They had Tim and Ken, Gus and Ron in studio. I mean,
very serious beanbag Ron.
Yeah. So, yeah, but it's not enough. And often people like they were saying about me on the show is men as a left-wing lunatic or whatever. And I think it's different in Australia. We've discussed this on the Aussie Minifan show before. We're not quite as divided here. It's very sort of centered and moderate. Like between our two major parties, there's not a lot of difference. Whereas the two major parties in the States are very different and
they both suck.
Yeah. So, but I thought if just for the listeners, there's three issues they seem to talk about: abortions, immigration, and inflation. So I'm going to go through each one and I'm going to give my opinion.
What about trans rights? Oh,
sorry. There's four. But yeah, I haven't asked you guys if you don't feel comfortable doing this, but I'm going to go through the issues and then, the listeners and the viewers can decide what I am because I don't, identify with either Democrat or Republican, but say on abortions, I think it is ridiculous to outlaw abortions. I think anybody that thinks a woman shouldn't have a right to decide is a fucking criminal because it is disgraceful. And I do think there needs to be a cutoff point term wise. So I think, whatever it is, 4 months, for whatever the term
4 years,
a woman has to decide by that time. But I think it is disgraceful that there are states in America where abortion is illegal. And I think that anybody who thinks that abortion should be illegal pretty much fucking...
What if it's the majority opinion of said state?
Well, I'm not saying they shouldn't have a right to decide. I'm just saying they're fucking idiots.
Okay.
Like, it is 2024. It is 2024.
This will be in my chat.
I'm sorry, there's no God. There's no fucking heaven and hell. Like, get with the program, you fucking idiots. Now, would you two like to give your opinion or is it just me?
Menez wants to kill babies. No, I'm with you. Women should be able to choose pro-choice. You shouldn't be, so many different reasons, age, circumstance, rape things. It's just incest. Pro-choice. So
thank you. Jackson?
I don't want to get into it. I don't want to.
Jackson.
Okay, all right, okay, good pussy. All right, immigration.
Is the new missus watching, huh?
One Tante was saying.
It's cut out now anyway, so
I know.
he's probably done it on purpose. Probably done.
Is there anything wrong with having their own?
Fucking abort you
I haven't
from this
impregnated
fucking,
her yet.
abort you from this fucking show. Sorry, was that a yes? You're for abortions, but you cut out.
No, I'm not for abortions.
Well, what? So you're
Jackson,
against them?
4 abortions. He wants 4.
So you're against them?
What am I? What?
You're against abortions?
Well, that's not even what the topic was. It's is it a constitutional issue or is it a state issue?
Listen here, Kamala.
I don't want to fucking do this.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. All right. Next question. Immigration.
All right, Kamala.
Fuck. Wow.
Fuck up.
Immigration. So this is where I think Australians and Americans actually might be closely aligned.
Jackson's all about immigration. Open Borders was the name of his show, right? He was all about.
Kane's all about immigration, but I think we take for granted in Australia that we have, we're an island, and therefore it's much easier for us to police who comes in and out. And with our government historically has done some pretty crazy shit to keep boats from coming and stuff like that.
Jeez, you really are a big lefty, aren't you?
He fucking is, man.
You haven't let me finish, but I actually don't like queue jumping. Like, there are a lot of people that want to go paying lots of money to immigrate to Australia. It's a huge process if people are just, you can't just rock up like Kane wants me to rock up to Watertown.
But you're against turning the boats around.
I didn't say that. I just said our government
you
has.
are. Let's be honest.
I'm not against. No, I'm not. I'm actually. I think that they did the right thing because they probably stopped more boats coming. And it's a terrible situation that these people that are so desperate will get on these boats, and I have sympathy for them. But I hate queue jumping as a principle. I think you just can't have people just rocking up expecting to be let into your country. And I think that's where I agree with probably more the Republican side in America.
Welcome back to 2GB. It's 7:16 here on a Thursday.
All right, go on. What about you two?
I agree with the queue jumping thing. So, I'm all for legal immigration, people coming over here the right way, signing up, actual genuine refugees that are trying to do the right thing, fleeing countries that are really bad, but don't jump the queue. Don't walk over the border with a couple of million people. Do it the right way. I know it's hard, especially for America, but
Look at us, we all agree.
All right. So far we're 1-1 for each party. Then inflation. They were talking a lot about inflation in the debate.
I'm
Jamie,
pro-inflation.
But no, I'm not. Poland made a point that inflation is happening all around the world. And I will say to all the Americans, yes, in Australia, on the other side of the world, inflation is at pace with what's happening in America, if not a little bit more. So I don't know if it's what Biden and stuff have done. I think it's a bigger issue than political decisions. I think it's a lot of, and from my understanding, it's fallout from COVID, all the money injected into economies and stuff.
Yeah, which if you look at what governments are the ones that have caused in power.
Sorry, Jackson, do you want us to say, are they Asian? Are you not? Is this annoying you that we're actually?
What the fuck? I'm just making sure my internet's working.
They're dead.
Whoa.
If you look at the side of politics that has been in charge while inflation is growing its highest, it is the left. So, maybe if we had a right-wing government here, look, COVID.
Can I just ask you, Jamie, who started the lockdowns? If we're talking the States, right?
The States. Well, yeah, it was Trump. It was Trump, heavily influenced by that.
Because the lockdowns and COVID payments and all this sort of stuff, that is the issue.
The COVID payments is the big one, but
that is the issue because it stopped the incentive. It stopped the incentive of working.
That's the big thing. But he was put under so much pressure.
I'm just trying,
hey, you brought this up.
No,
welcome back to Fox News. My guest tonight.
I'm just saying. So what I'm saying is, I don't think that's an issue for left Dems or Republicans. I think it'd be roughly the same. They're saying Trump might be a little better for the economy in America.
Well, he actually cared about domestic production, whereas the second he was out, that kind of went away. It's the same here. We don't give
he'll tax business less. Trump will tax.
Which will encourage them to open, like employ more people, which will build the economy back up, whereas the left doesn't do that.
This is where Americans are missing out. We are three guys. We've had a sensible discussion about it. If you're American, you don't listen to the discussion. You just go, I bring up abortion, you go, I'm a Republican, I'm against it.
Yeah,
immigration, I'm a Democrat, the opposite pole is like, I'll let them all in. So anyway, I just wanted to
say that?
No. I can't. Essentially.
Jesus Christ. Sweden must need to watch out.
Mike, did you see the best bit was before the show started, that asshole Steve Robinson just kept referring to Greg Polar as Amy's brother. Amy's brother's going to be on. Amy's brother. He said it. And I got to say that I hate Steve, but that is the sort of thing that sort of cuntishness is right up my alley.
That's a good put down right there.
But he said it like,
his brother.
We'll be joined anyway. All right, so listeners, viewers, you can decide whether I'm a left-wing lunatic or I'm more like, I think I'm actually just got a brain and not divided by party lines.
That's what every fucking lefty lunatic says.
No, they don't have brains.
I'm the fucking smart one. I'm the logical one. Shut up.
If we had libertarianism over here, that's what
when I say I have a brain, I mean I don't just follow the herd. So because I'm a Republican, I do this. I'm a Democrat, I do that.
I am. I think it's libertarian. It's fiscally conservative, but socially liberal. Like, yeah, gays can get married. That really didn't affect me at all. I'm not gay. Yeah. Like, why shouldn't they be miserable like the heterosexual community by getting married?
All right, next question. Next question. We've only got 5 minutes left. I want to. I thought maybe mix return. We haven't touched on that. Did you like that solo podcast? So well done, Kane, doing a pre-show. That solo podcast was just blah. Like
it was a zero move, wasn't it? Nothing happened.
Yeah, and he just, and you know what had frustrated me about that is he just wheeled out the same old shit. Like we heard it all before. I think this Justin thing is horse shit. And Gaz killed him, like releasing those DMs. Did you guys see that, you idiots? Mm-hmm. Gaz, did you see it, Jamie? No.
I saw it. No, I saw it. I'm a big Mick guy, and I also follow Gaz.
Give me your Mick takes. Give me your Mick takes.
No, I'm just glad he's back. Look, this is his first podcast back. Let him get into it. He will go bigger the more he stays in the world. He's just getting back into it. He's just touching base. So this is what happened. This is blah blah blah. Give him time. So
he's saying soon he's going to find his new shtick that he's going to.
He's got a lot to vent about, like the Christian stuff, the Justin still on the show stuff. He's going to go boom again soon.
Yeah, but he barely like if you listen to the podcast, he was like, like you thought that it was going to be a Christian bombshell. I was like, I love Christian still. Going to have him on next week. No big deal.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing.
Anyway, moving on.
Those tweets were very much like he hated him. But there's not a lot of controversy there, which is unfortunate. But maybe we'll see more as he gets into the world a bit more.
It's almost like everything was perfectly predictable. Like I said it last week that he's not going to drop the show on time. He set a perfect schedule. He was never going to drop it. He dropped it at like fucking midday our time, whatever it was. Like I think it was 4 a.m. US time.
Yeah,
like it's just.
I feel sorry for him, but. I think he actually should have come on. Like I actually asked him to do a show with me recently, and I think actually needed someone there to like press him a bit and ask him a few questions and try and get something out of him. Because clearly he's going like, do you believe this rare blood disease all of a sudden?
Yeah,
I do.
He was pretty open with it, like that other issues had arisen that wasn't just Crohn's. So
okay, well,
kind of amazing.
I feel sorry for him that he's been suffering. But I think that's so weird. Like you get off with this great job. Like we all work with people we don't like. Like he could go and work with Justin. Justin's not that bad. Like you don't have to like him. In fact, it's better for the show if you don't like him anyway. 100%. So just like this was an opportunity, and then you stick it out, and then maybe you go to Gaz after you've KMS and say, hey, I want to move to the big smoke. Keep me, keep an opportunity. I mean, Kirk, and you know what I'm saying? Like it just seems. Justin is the last person who should stop you from working somewhere.
Yeah. But you just look at the show where him and Brother Hour are in. He would have that same energy with Justin now because he hates Justin. Yeah. And it would be awesome every show. I go back and listen to that or watch that show at least once every month just because it was just fucking amazing for 2.5 hours. Yeah.
To that.
Oh, bro, there are so many good little bits you have to listen to. Little digs from Mick. It's just such a good show. But that's what we'd get every single show if we work with Justin, because it would be that same hatred towards Justin.
Yeah. I think Mick should stay away a bit longer. That's my advice. I don't think you. Go on.
Let's get him on this show.
Or come on with me. Yeah, get him. Okay. Well, maybe.
Get him on.
Should we
put it on Kane's corner?
For two reasons.
Haven't we banned anyone non-Australian though?
That's what I'm saying. For two reasons. It'd be great because Mick would be awesome with us, and Mayo would be so fucking pissed about it. We'd get a lot of pub on Twitter. So
why does he want to come on here? Why does Mayo want to come on here?
I don't know.
I mean, we are all Mayo fans here, so maybe it's a safe landing spot for him.
What if he puts on an accent the whole time?
No, I think
it'll be British.
I want to do this thing. We're actually we're going to announce it. All right, I'm just going to do it. So, the viewers, if you're watching this, send in your best Aussie impressions. We're going to pick the best Aussie impression, and if you have to come, you can come on the show, but you have to do the impression the whole show. So
I love this.
That's the thing. We're going to play the videos on upcoming Aussie Minifan shows, and then we'll all vote who does the best one. And you can come on with us. All right, I've got to go. So, Jamie, say goodbye. Anything you want to?
Nah. Show's been awesome still. Fuck the haters.
All right. Thank you. This is the Menace Minifan Network. Bye-bye.